Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, coming to you on a hump day. I'm, of course, your host, David On Point. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Thank you very much for joining us. And today we're going to be giving you a double dose of Prime Sports World. First, we're going to be talking about fantasy football. This is week number 15, and most fantasy football leagues, the playoffs have just gotten started in many football leagues. So hopefully you all made the playoffs and you're going to be continuing to play fantasy football. And then the crossover is going to run that shortly after that show. We'll talk about some stuff going on in the National Basketball Association. But this show right here, this is our fantasy football show. So please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to drop any of your questions or comments in the chat, we will answer them live on air. So please address those questions if you have them. Izzy, man, I gotta be honest with you. This was a rough down the stretch for me in fantasy football this year, man. I'm in 8 fantasy leagues. I made the playoffs in one of them, and the only reason I made the playoffs in this one league is because they let 8 teams in. I was the 8th team. But I did beat the number 1 seed in the playoffs this week, so I get to move on. So I get to continue playing. But yeah, I missed the league. I missed the playoffs in my league. I missed the playoffs in AJ's league. I missed the playoffs every league in Dan Kenny's league. Every money league that I'm playing in, I missed the playoffs, and I missed the playoffs in my league because of that stupid DeAndre Hopkins fumble to the house. Cost me that title, that matchup. And then in AJ's league, basically Alvin Kamara.
Oh, you mean Tyreek Hill? You mean the Tyreek Hill?
No, the DeAndre Hopkins fumble. When he fumbled that ball and it got taken back to the house, I got eliminated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Really? Are you serious?
Yeah. That
oh, my God, dude. That is insane, man. You know what? In the greatest people, I lost last week, and I think I got eliminated
too. You too.
With the loss last week. With the loss last week, I did get eliminated. So I still got to give you that $40. I still got to give you that $40.
You only owe me 30 because you were the highest scoring team in a week.
Oh, get out of here! Oh my God, seriously. Yeah. So guys, I was in 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was in 4 leagues. I cut my leagues down. I wasn't in quite as many leagues as David was. 8. But yeah, I was in 4 leagues this year, and I made the playoffs in 3 of them, and all 3 of the my bigger money leagues. So week, and you know what? Actually, last week in one of the leagues, I didn't even realize it was the first week it was the first playoff week, and I won, and I didn't even realize it. I was like, dude, I told my guy Mike, I'm like, you guys started the playoffs at week 16 or week was it week 13, week 14? He's like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, oh yeah, we end the season in week 17. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Are you kidding?
A lot of fantasy leagues do that because they don't want you to have to worry about benching players and so all that whatnot. But
week 18, people benching.
Alvin Kamara basically created my team, and that's how it went down. But yeah, let's talk about this week as we try to help people get through the fantasy playoffs. It's a big time in fantasy as we wind down here down the stretch. Week number 15. And let's talk first about quarterbacks. Let's talk first about quarterbacks. Let's get into my rankings. Number 1, I got Jalen Hurts. Me and you are on the same wavelength when it comes to our number 1 quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts going up against the Chicago Bears. Should have a big game there. Number 2, Justin Herbert. 3, Josh Allen. 4, Patrick Mahomes. I know I got him a little bit lower, but I do not think that Patrick Mahomes needs to throw the football a lot to beat the Houston Texans. 5, Dak Prescott. 6, Kirk Cousins. 7, Justin Fields going up against those Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, I am concerned that defense is elite, but I think Justin Fields will get you enough on the ground that he'll be okay. 8, Joe Burrow. 9, Jared Goff. 10, Aaron Rodgers. And then outside looking in, Mike White. And then my Tua Tagovailoa, Brock Purdy, number 3 on my outside looking in. I like what I've seen out of him so far as starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I am concerned now that Deebo Samuel's no longer there, but seems to have a rapport with Brandon Ayuk. So, and then my sneaky and dailies, Desmond Ridder at 5,200. TJ always talks about this. When teams don't really have a lot of film on a guy, he usually comes out in balls. So Desmond Ridder, 5,200 for the Atlanta Falcons. Izzy, did I lose you? I think Izzy may have disconnected. But yeah, I'll just go through his quarterback rankings. They're pretty similar to mine, but some minor tweaks here and there. So we go back to the first page. So he's got Jalen Hurts just like me at number 1 at quarterback rankings. 2 Patrick Mahomes, a little bit higher than I am. 3 Josh Allen, 4 Justin Herbert, 5 Tua Tagovailoa. He is a lot higher than Tua than I am. I just think that that's not maybe the best matchup for Tua going up against the Buffalo Bills, and he's really struggled the last few weeks there in Miami. So yeah, he's been up and down this season, or at least the last couple weeks. 6 Joe Burrow, 7 Dak Prescott, 8 Kirk Cousins, 9 Justin Fields. A little bit lower on Justin Fields than I am, but I still think there's value there. 10 Jared Goff, and then his outside looking in, he's got Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, and then Mike White playing for the New York Jets. And then his sneaky and daily in FanDuel, Deshaun Watson.
I am back, ladies and gents. I am so sorry. I left you hanging there, David. Yeah,
okay.
no.
I went through your quarterbacks.
Yeah, you went through my quarterbacks. I'll just keep it going. Yeah, I think Brock Purdy, as an outside looking in, I think he has some value there going into Seattle. We talked about it earlier. Definitely Mike White going against Detroit has some top 10 value. In my opinion, that Detroit defense isn't the consummate of consistency. And then, my sneaky in FanDuel is Deshaun Watson. He's really cheap at 6,800. Godly, remind me, I can't look at the schedule because otherwise I don't want to get kicked out again.
Hold on.
They're going against the Godly. Is it the? Anyways, he's got he
I do not remember right now.
You can't remember who they're going against? Cleveland.
Baltimore?
I can't remember.
Baltimore.
It's Baltimore. There we go. Baltimore. Anthony Brown. Who's the quarterback? Anthony Brown. I don't think Baltimore keep. I don't think they'll sustain drives so that defense will be on the field a little bit. I think Deshaun Watson, third game of the season, kind of get back into it. He had a better game last week than he did the first week. So I think this third week, I think he'll break through the mold a little bit. I am hoping he does because I'm starting him in AJ's league over Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Man, that's rough. I wouldn't make that call, but that's all.
I still have a couple days. I have a couple days to change that.
Moving on from the quarterbacks, let's talk about them running backs. Let you go first with your running back rankings. Me and you on the same
right
when it comes to our number 1 running back.
Yes. Derrick Henry is my number 1 running back this week. I think he has a great matchup this week. I think he'll run for 150 and a couple touchdowns. In my opinion, he ran for 110 last week against Jacksonville. So I do think Derrick Henry will have a good matchup this week. And then number 2, I got Austin Eckler. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey. With Debo being down, I think Christian McCaffrey will kind of step up a little bit more in that offense against Seattle. So look for Christian McCaffrey to take on a little bit more of what Debo's role is. And then number 4, Tony Pollard. Number 5, Josh Jacobs. Number 6, Miles Sanders going against that Chicago Bears defense that really hasn't been great against the run or the pass this year. Number 6, I got Nick Chubb. Number 7, I got Nick Chubb. Number 8, Dalvin Cook. Number 9, Jonathan Taylor. And then I got right on my top 10, Saquon Barkley going up against Washington. Saquon has kind of lost some steam, for the last probably month and a half or so. He was, one of the best running backs in the league, and that team has kind of come back down to earth, losing. How many games they've lost, David? The last four or five?
4 of the last 5.
4 of the last 5, yeah. And I'm outside looking in. Got Isaiah Pacheco, Kansas City going up against Houston, Aaron Jones, and Joe freaking Mixon. And then my cheap option in FanDuel is J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins at 6,600 going up against Cleveland. They're going to rely a lot on that running game. I like what I saw out of J.K. Dobbins. I know he had only a couple more carries than Godly than Kenyon Drake. Oh, yeah, Gus Edwards, I'm sorry. But, I think J.K. Dobbins is still the more explosive back, when healthy. I think he's getting there. And I think, if they get down in the red zone, he'll be their goal line back as well. So, J.K. Dobbins at 6,600.
completely agree with you on the J.K. Dobbins prediction. I do expect him to have a lot of carries in this game. Moving on from my running back rankings, we got the same number one. I got Derek freaking Henry at number one. 2, I got Miles Sanders. 3, I got Christian McCaffrey. 4, Nick Chubb. And then things get a little more interesting. 5, Dalvin Cook. 6, Austin Eckler. 7, I got Aaron Jones. I still think the Packers, if they're going to win football games, it's going to be on the ground. 8, J.K. Dobbins at number 8. I think they're going to use him now that he's healthy. I expect him to get a lot of touches in that game, especially the Baltimore with that quarterback situation. J.K. Dobbins at number 8 in my running back rankings. 9, Joe Mixon. 10, Tony Pollard. Yes, I have him over Ezekiel Elliott. I think that is the easy choice now, given their usage. And then outside looking in, I still got Jonathan Taylor. I still, for some reason, have Alvin Kamara in my outside looking in. And then I got James Conner. With Colt McCoy as the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals for the remainder of the season, James Conner, his usage rate, I think, is going to go up. I think he's going to be more involved in the passing game. I look for him to be more involved in the ground game, maybe have more touches there as well, as long as he can stay healthy, James Conner. And then my sneaky and daily, Raheem Blackshear for the Carolina Panthers. I think he's had a touchdown 3 weeks in a row, and they're going to commit to the running game. I don't think they want Sam Darnold to try to win games. They're going to run the football with that three-headed monster of Chuba Hubbard, Devontae Foreman, and Raheem Blackshear at 4,400, which is really cheap in DraftKings.
Yeah, no, I like that Black stat. I don't know, how he's going to, be able to play.
We're losing him a little bit, so we're just going to swing in from running back rankings. Let's talk about my wide receivers. So number 1 wide receiver is A.J. Brown.
Derrick Henry?
My number one running back wide receiver is A.J. Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Chicago Bears. Should have a field day against that secondary of Chicago, which isn't all that good. 2, CeeDee Lamb, same kind of concept going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 3, Justin Jefferson. 4, Jamar Chase. 5, Devontae Adams. 6, Stephon Diggs. 7, Terry McLaurin going up against the New York Giants, who, as Izzy mentioned, have come down to earth a little bit. 8, Mike Williams looks healthy. 9, DeAndre Hopkins. 10, Tyreek Hill. I know I'm much lower on Tyreek Hill than you are this week, but I think that Buffalo Bills defense is for real. I think they're going to get pressure under Tua. I think they're going to force him into some bad decisions. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to be that involved in the passing game. And then my outside looking in, I got Garrett Wilson. Amon-Ra St. Brown, even though I do expect him to be locked up with Sauce Gardner. But I do think he has some value there. And then 3, Mike Evans, even though Mike Evans killed me this season in fantasy in a bunch of leagues, but I still have him as my number 3 at my outside looking in. And then my sneaky and daily, Jameson Williams at 4,100 and Laviska Shenault at 3,400. Both of those guys, Jameson Williams got his first NFL touchdown in his first second NFL game. And Laviska Shenault, his usage there by the Carolina Panthers has been extremely interesting this season. They seem to put him all over the formation. He's a good football player and he's talented.
Yeah, no, I like that Laviska Shenault pick as well there for you, man. Yeah, no, nothing. And when I look at your other sneaky and your other Jameson Williams, he only had one catch for that long touchdown. He didn't do much after that, so I'm a little skeptical at picking him. But we'll see. I mean, he's their number 1 pick. They moved up 9 slots for a reason to get him. Correct. So look for that guy.
I think they went up 19 slots.
God.
Moving on into your wide receiver rankings.
Yeah, moving on to my wide receiver rankings. Yeah, number 1, I got Justin Jefferson. At number 2, Stephon Diggs. Number 3, Devontae Adams. Number 4, Tyreek Hill. Going into that matchup against Buffalo. Still think that there's some explosive plays to be made there with Miami. Number 5, I got A.J. Brown going up against a Chicago Bears defense, which, like I said, hasn't been that great this season. 6, I got the 8. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown going up against New York Jets. Would be a little higher, but he's going to match up with Sauce Gardner and that stingy Jets defense. So, but I still think there's some opportunities there for Amon-Ra. And number 9, I got Keenan Allen going against the Tennessee Titans this week. I think that Keenan Allen should be able to get a lot of high uses. Him and Mike Williams. And number 9, it doesn't really matter who's throwing him the football. Colt McCoy or Kyler Murray. DeAndre Hopkins still has some value there. And on my outside looking in, I got Mike Williams, Devontae Smith, and Garrett Wilson. And then if you're looking for a cheap option in FanDuel, I got Noah Brown, who had a pretty good week last week. I believe he hauled in like five catches for like 80-something yards last week. So look for Noah Brown, and if anybody's wondering who Noah Brown is, Noah Brown is
I would hope
godly. I'm looking him up right here.
He's a wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He had like 5 targets for like 80 yards or something, 5 catches for like 80 yards or something like that last week. So I expect Noah Brown to, continue to do that, during FanDuel. And they got a good matchup this week. So expect Noah Brown to continue that as a, cheap option. You can stack your other chips elsewhere.
Totally agree with you on the Noah Brown. I thought it would go Michael Gallup over Noah Brown, but you can't go wrong with either of those two guys. Moving on from wide receiver.
No, not at all.
Let's talk about let's move on from your wide receiver. Let's talk about your tight ends.
Oh, yeah. At number 1, I got Travis Kelce. He's going to be number 1 for the rest of the time. Number 2, I got TJ Hockenson. Number 3, Mark Andrews. Number 4, Dalton Schultz in there. Number 5, I got George Kittle. Number 6, Greg Dulcich. Like I said, has had a quietly good season there for the Denver Broncos. Number 7, I got Pat Freiermuth. It's going to take a little hit. I didn't really see the rapport with him and Mitch Trubisky this season, but Pat Freiermuth still in the top 10. Number 8, David Njoku. I think if anybody getting the ball, it's Deshaun Watson.
He's been pretty good.
Got
even
good,
no
great signal caller back there. Look for David Njoku to do some things this week. And then
I think we lost him. I think I'm just gonna rip through the rest of his rankings.
Yeah, with Jacoby Brissett, continue to be on the field. I'm watching a bit. Oh no, can you hear me? Oh yeah, and then number 9, I got Gerald Everett. Number 10, Evan Ingram, and then I'm outside looking, and I got Tyler Conklin, Chigo Kongwu, who's had a couple good weeks the last couple weeks, and then Cole Kmet, who's been pretty good the last 4 to 5 weeks for Chicago Bears, and then my cheap in FanDuel is Chigo Kongwu at 5,100 and Cade Otton at 4,600.
Yeah, I like both of those predictions, especially the Cade Otton one. Even though Cameron Brate is back for Tampa Bay, who seemed to steal some of his usage last week, but Cade Otton is a talented player. Moving on from your tight end rankings to mine, we got the same guys at number 1 and number 2. Travis Kelce and TJ Hockenson make out my number one and my number 2. 3, George Kittle. 4, Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz. I've liked what I've seen out of him this season. He's bounced back from that injury early on in the year. 5, Pat Freiermuth. Still got a touchdown last week, even in a game that was kind of a snooze fest when it came on the offensive side of the ball. And then 6, David Njoku, who's been good this season. He's kind of bounced back from what's been a so-so career. They have a pretty solid season. 7, Gerald Everett. 8, Evan Ingram. I think the Evan Ingram is for real. I think he probably will resign with Jacksonville in the offseason. Evan Ingram is the tight end you want if you are in the AFC South. Not that that's saying a whole lot, but that's the tight end that I want. Number 9, Mark Andrews. So surprisingly really low on my list of Mark Andrews at number 9. I just think that him with Anthony Brown and Tyler Huntley, they just don't seem to have the rapport that he had with Lamar Jackson. Look at his last couple games. The usage hasn't really been there. He hasn't been all that good since he's come back from that injury. Number 9 for me. 10, Greg Dulcich, as you mentioned. Yeah, he seems to be the one really super consistent weapon that Russell Wilson has. I do not know who the quarterback will be for them this week, but Greg Dulcich could be a safety valve for whoever it happens to be. And then my outside looking in, Taysom Hill going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Cole Kmet, who's been awesome this season, really bounced back from what's been a so-so career to start his career. And then 300 Henry, pretty high usage rate there for the New England Patriots. It's probably their best offensive weapon that they have. And then my sneaky and daily is Trey McBride at 2,800. Colt McCoy will be the current quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Just based on watching what I saw on Monday Night Football, he just seems to have he seems to be looking for Trey McBride. He had a bunch of targets after Colt came in. 2,800, Trey McBride.
Yeah, no, I like Trey McBride, man. Honestly, the only thing about that is that I think Colt McCoy will be looking a lot towards DeAndre Hopkins. You got Hollywood Brown there now. Robbie Anderson is in the mix. I mean, he had some kind of life last week. So I just don't know if the target's going to be there for Trey McBride, but I still do like him being at that price for DraftKings.
I agree with you. But yeah, I think if he gets in the end zone, if he has, double digit targets, I think there could be some value there. Moving on from tight ends, let's talk about defensive rankings. Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles going up against my Chicago Bears. Look for that to be a semi-turnover fest as Philadelphia turns the clamps on the Chicago Bears. 2, Dallas. 3, Kansas City Chiefs, the team that you have at number 1. I got it number 3. 4, Washington Commanders. I had nothing in that Giants offense scares me. I think the Commanders really lock in on defense and really make things difficult. 5, San Francisco 49ers. Then my outside looking in, Carolina Panthers, actually. They've been stingy on defense this season and going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I look for that to be a good matchup for them. 2, Denver Broncos going up against Colt McCoy. I think that could be a good matchup for Denver as well. That defense has been stout this year. And then the 3, the Green Bay Packers. They got a good matchup there against Baker Mayfield. I don't expect him to win a bunch of – I just don't expect him to jump out of the phone booth again this season. Green Bay should be getting some pressure on Baker Mayfield. And then my sneaky and daily is the Denver Broncos at 2,700, which is stupid cheap for a guy going up against a backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And, I got Green Bay a little higher. Baker Mayfield's going into Green Bay on the road. I know it's going to be a second week, kind of a week and a half with the playbook, but godly, Thursday night. It's a Monday night game, so he'll have a little bit more time to digest that playbook. But I don't see it happening, especially with Green Bay knowing that they kind of need a win to keep the playoff hopes alive. I think they play a little desperate against LA, kind of go for broke against them. My number 1, Kansas City. Going against the Houston Texans. I just, they're going to force whoever the quarterback's going to be to throw that football because they're going to put so many points on the board. They're going to constantly keep scoring, so they're going to turn that one over. At number 2, I got Philadelphia. I do agree with you. It is going to be a turnover fest in Chicago. Number 3, I got the Dallas Cowboys. Number 4, I got my Green Bay Packers. And number 5, I got the San Francisco 49ers going into Seattle. Defense travels. Everybody knows this, and they got the best defense, arguably the best defense in the league. I know you think the Dallas Cowboys are the best defense in the league. And then on the outside looking in, I got Buffalo.
I think San Francisco is the best defense in the league. I think the Cowboys are certainly in the conversation, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Well, I was right. I think defense travels. I mean, they're going in Seattle. I know, with a rookie quarterback or anything, whatever the case is, but I still think, Geno Smith and that offense has kind of come back to life a little bit. Watch for San Francisco to be a top 5 defense this week. And then my odds are looking at, I got Buffalo going up against Miami, who hasn't been that great in the last few weeks here. And then Pittsburgh going up against Baltimore and Denver this week. And then if you're looking for a cheap option in FanDuel, I got Denver at 3,700. And I got Denver. And then I got the Cincinnati Bengals here at 3,600. I think Cincinnati Bengals have a good matchup going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, yes, they do look old, they do look slow, and they don't look like they're on the same page with anything. And I think Joe Burrow is going to be putting up points on the board, forcing Tom Brady to throw the football 40 times or 30-some times. And, I think that Cincinnati Bengals defense is going to turn them over a couple times this week. Look for Cincinnati to do some things this week. I definitely think they're a top 10 defense.
I like both of those predictions right there, especially that Cincinnati one. That's interesting, especially if they get up big. But what we do before we get out of every single show, we guess who's going to be the number one scorer the week prior, who will be the highest scoring player this week. Do you know who was the highest scoring player this past week? I gotta tell you, I was pretty shocked when this name came up.
Highest scoring player this past week. Golly, who scored multiple touchdowns last week? Was it Miles Sanders? No, it wasn't Miles Sanders. No way.
Miles Sanders was 8th. I think that number is
8th. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got me. You got me on this one. I don't know, like not off the top of my head.
So
would it be Trevor Lawrence?
No,
or Evan Ingram.
Trevor Lawrence was number 2, 33.42 points last week. Evan Ingram put up 39.2 fantasy points in PPR, 11 catches, 162 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Evan Ingram. Like just absurd numbers.
Oh wow, Butterfingers, man. I used to call him Butterfingers, man. Now he's just catching everything for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence had a great game. I don't know if he'll have one this week. So.
Who do you think is going to be the number one scorer and player in fantasy this week?
Lord. You know what? Man, I'm sorry if I'm my memory's jogging here. Godly, it's a tough one. You know what? Give me AJ Brown. Give me AJ Brown versus Chicago Bears.
I'm going to stay with the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'm not going to take their wide receiver. I'm going to take their quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts has a monster game against the Chicago Bears. Looking to have like a 40-point game against the Chicago Bears.
I hope he has a 40-point game. I hope he has a 40-point game.
Mr. Virtuoso is going to dish out a virtuoso. That's for sure.
Yes, and I hope you guys give me the props later on down the road.
Yeah, you're for sure going to get some props because, he's been awesome this season. He's probably the MVP favorite right now. But, thank you for joining us. This has been our Fantasy Football Rankings Week number 15 show. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast as we are on Facebook, Twitter, and on Twitch. So please continue checking us out. The crossover will get started in about 30 minutes, so you want to keep an eye out for that content. I've been David Huffman. Right there is the CEO of Prime Sports with Mr. Israel Vera and Izzy. What we do here at the Prime, my friend?
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
bring the heat 24/7.
Absolutely. And in case you missed it, Izzy did post a video about the World Cup. So hopefully you're able to enjoy that content as well. I've been David Huffman.
Yes. Yes, David. Let me mention that World Cup video. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it got taken down due to copyright issues because I threw some reaction videos in there with the highlights for France and Morocco. So I'm actually contesting it with YouTube. So if you don't see it right now, that's fine. It may come back later on tomorrow, so you guys can enjoy that content. But yeah, I will make sure to watch out for the copyright stuff and putting up, reaction videos moving forward. But I'll come with the World Cup reaction again in another couple days.
Love it. We'll be back here in just about 30 minutes, breaking down some NBA stuff. And then the games of the week will also air tomorrow. I've been David Huffman. You guys all have a good night, and we'll see you later, buddy.
Peace out, guys.